nothing changes.
Hello YouTube, this is Dinosaur D123 here coming at you with another guide. Today we're going to be covering an Ion Mechanics guide, doing everything from preferred kits to play styles and various mechanics that you'll find very helpful. Some of which are bugs, some of which are intended, and all of which, regardless of how they're in the game, do affect the current meta for Ion and affects the skill gap in how much you can get out of this Titan as a whole. So we'll be covering all of them, not exactly encouraging anyone to be using these if they are bugs or if you think they're bugs, but still gotta keep in mind other people will be using these and they are part of the game as of now. So for now we actually have to deal with them whether you like them or not. And if you guys want to jump on board for some of these mechanics, hopefully they'll help you out. So first, after we load in right here, we will be covering the laser melee cancel. It's rather simple. Basically what they did is, with the new colony patch, they made it to where you can melee while holding up a laser shot to cancel it and avoid using your energy. This will come in handy when either you don't have a target handy or target on hand, or if they get out of your view. Also, if you're trying to, if someone's pushing you, you can hold your laser shot, cancel it out when you're to recharge energy. So I can hold my laser, I can melee out of it. That way, for example, he is out of view from me, decided to save my laser. Another situation that this will come in a lot of hand is I'm low energy, this Ronin's pushing me, and so I'm going to fake him out. So he's going to be holding LB to try and push up to me because I have my laser shot ready, and if he lets go he's going to get hurt. So holding this up will allow me to recharge the first half of my energy reserves while I'm holding in my first laser shot, and then I can cancel it out by faking him out and punching him forward for 500 damage, all while charging up all my energy again. The next bug we'll be covering is the 0 point mechanic bug. So this bug involves the tripwire, and normally you need the 0 point tripwire kit as your tier 2 kit for Ion to get your tripwire for free. Well, there's actually a mechanic in the game that allows you to use a different kit while still getting your tripwire for free. And so the kit I usually go with when doing this type of playstyle is the Grand Canyon kit, so you can benefit from that, which I think is one of the better kits at the moment. So it's very simple. So you'll be holding your second laser shot when you're when you're at half energy. You'll click Y to throw your tripwire while holding RB, and it will throw the tripwire on the ground. You let go of RB to shoot your laser shot, and it will leave you with, it will shoot your laser and throw your tripwire for 30% instead of 80. So I'm going to be at half energy again. I'm going to I'm going to click Y while holding RB, and then I can fire my laser. And there, you're getting both for 30%. To put this into perspective, you get your energy reserves for Ion take 10 seconds to fully recharge. Your laser shot has a 5-second cooldown because it uses 50% of that. When it comes to your vortex shield, if you're playing fully defensive, you can hold your vortex for 8 seconds to run out of energy just playing defensively. So you can have, if playing full defensively, you have 8 seconds of shielding and then 10 seconds of downtime in between shields. Your tripwire is a 10-second cooldown and lasts 13 seconds on the ground before it detonates by itself. The tripwire will do roughly 1500 damage, so that's 3/5 of a bar. We're going to be throwing numbers at you guys still for a bit. So the tripwire will do 1500 damage, right around there, depending on how close or how far the target is. Your laser shots do 1400 damage and then 2100 damage with a crit. And the splitter rifle does 80 damage to the body and 120 damage to critical hits. So that gives you kind of the damage numbers for what Ion can be doing. And so, like with the tripwire damage, that's a lot that's quite a lot of damage for why you should be always using that tripwire whenever you can, because that's a good amount of damage you could be doing. So to cover a little bit more statistics with the with the tripwire in general, The tripwire has about a dash or so worth of explosive radius. So Quaid, go ahead and back up to right about there. I believe that'll hit you from there. And so go ahead and shoot the tripwire from there. Yeah, that still does the 1500 damage. So right around 1 to 2 dashes radius around the around your enemy Titan, the tripwire will can blow up from either being damaged or timing out and still do that full damage. The other thing is that it's roughly a story high, so right around here or so, the tripwire explosion on the ground would still kill a pilot, or on buildings in Angel City, the majority of buildings, it'll still kill them. So go ahead and stand there and shoot that, Quaid. That might kill you. Yeah, see, that explosive radius is stupid. So it's a story high and about 1 to 2 dash radius around it, all of which enemies will take damage and kill pilots. So next we're going to start talking about individual kits. Real quick, we will talk about Entangled Energy and why I think there are some problems with it. It doesn't benefit you in the way that you'll have an extra energy total for your bar, so you'll still have up to 10 seconds reserved worth of energy, compared to the 0-point tripwire, which in a way makes it where you have 130% because you can use that 30% ability on top of your bar. And then I'm going to show you the timing it'll take you to get your energy reserves back, knowing that for the energy reserves you get 10 seconds of energy, and when running Entangled Energy, landing all criticals, it will take you 5 seconds to get your energy back. So if you're landing all criticals when running Entangled Energy, your cooldown for energy is cut in half, which isn't that significant considering how unlikely it is that you're going to land all critical hits. It's just not that beneficial overall. Next we're going to talk about the Amp Vortex Shield. So there's two situations where this kit comes in handy. One is fighting Legion players for the amp damage with the hit scan bolts, and the other one is Reflecting Tone's rocket salvos. Reflecting Tone salvos is very inconsistent. They are very low projectiles. They have very slow projectile speeds, and likely you'll miss the majority of the time with reflecting those, so you're not going to get good damage out of there. And fighting Legion players, you're not usually benefiting against good Legions because good Legions are not going to be dumping into your Vortex Shield the way inexperienced players are. So I don't see the kit being very helpful in the grand scheme of things. Now I'll be talking about the problems with Refraction Lens. It does insanely great damage output, which is awesome. The problem is, if you're using Refraction Lens, after you're done doing your damage, you're gonna run out of energy, whereas versus focusing on laser shots for your damage, you fire your laser and then you can play defensively and still get that damage output, and you're also exposed less, so you're only allowed to play offensively. And then the other problem is you're only benefiting from that damage output if you're point blank to land all your shots, and if you're that close you can't afford to play it all aggressively, and you're not in that situation very often. Next we'll compare Ion's melee to Ronin. So it is actually really easy for Ion to pin Ronins and get better melee advantages over them because of how much faster Ion's melee animation is. It's like 1.5 to 2 times faster. So Ronin's gonna try to melee me a couple times. And it's just so much easier to constantly reset it on him because of that melee speed. So he can try to punch me, and then right after he punches you, you don't have to wait at all. You can just punch him right back and just turn it in your favor because of how fast your melees are. So it's just crazy how fast his is compared to the Titan designed to be doing melee, like with his melee weapon and stuff. So real quick, we will now talk about the benefits of 0-point tripwire, keeping in mind that the 0-point bug is a thing and that you can get your tripwire for free when you don't run that kit. The reason this kit is still good is you've already seen how good tripwires are, and the other reason is you won't be benefiting from the Grand Cannon kit or any of the other kits when not using this, but that's okay because of how much better you can focus on positioning with your tripwire and constant uptime for it, as well as having more free reign as to where how you're playing with your tripwire rather than just throwing it whenever you're going for that second laser shot. So it just gives you a lot more free reign with positioning, playstyle, and all that good stuff. Next we will talk about overcore versus turbo engine. I don't really see many situations where running turbo engine is a better option because of how much damage the because of how much damage the laser core can do, and also overcore saves you 4,000 damage towards getting your next core, which is just too good to pass up. Referring back to core, the Grand Cannon ability will make your core last 6 seconds instead of 4. So it's a 50% uptime increase, so your core will last 50% longer, and you'll also get the same amount of damage per second, so you get up to 50% damage increase as well, which can kill any Titan from full health basically. And now, so the preferred playstyle for Ion would mostly be focus on your lasers, almost never zoom in with the splitter rifle because of how inconsistent it is for damage and how close you need to be to out DPS what you could be doing with the laser, which can laser people from like halfway across the maps. So it's just an insanely good sniper. Try to manage above 50% energy whenever you don't have to be aggressive. That way you can be passive when need be and always be ready to be defensive, and focus on keeping your health and all that good stuff. Try to keep the upper hand in any situation. And then the best overall builds I would say would either be overcore 0-point tripwire because of the free reign and mobility that you'll have with it, being able to position as needed and be able to move around your tripwire rather than moving away from it, so that you can force people in that close quarters, making them more likely to be hurt by your tripwires when they're trying to damage you. Or do the Grand Cannon build so that you can run overcore Grand Cannon, focus on your laser core damage as a finisher whenever you're against a target that's more health than you, and then also taking advantage of the 0-point mechanic with the 0-point bug that we talked about. Not saying that it's at all fair, but like I said before, it's part of the game right now, and it is rarely available until it's been addressed. So that running the Grand Cannon build allows you to take advantage of both kits situationally, which is just it's just a powerhouse playstyle for Ion that you can't really outplay with the other builds. So that will cover everything for this guide. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. Let me know what you think about these mechanics that we've talked about, whether or not they're fair, whether or not they should be in the game, if they're bugs or not, as I believe at least some of them are, or if they were intended. And just let me know what guide you guys would like to see next. So if you guys are new, make sure you guys subscribe. Please like this video and have a nice day. See you guys later.